Mike here with Coastal Rental Center. Today we're going to go over the safety operation and controls on a Nifty Lift SP45. This is a four-wheel drive unit. It has a 45% 24-degree gradability. This unit's diesel fuel. Keep yourself aware of the diesel capacity. Here's your gauge on the side. You don't want to run a diesel out of fuel because it does require the lines to be bled, and a service call, you'll have to contact us to do a service call, and there is a fee for that. We have Joe with us. He's our operator. He's already harnessed up. Always wear a safety harness when you're in any aerial unit. It is required by OSHA. So we're going to start out with our ground controls. We'll have Joe go over with you. We're just going to show you a little brief. Open this door for your levers.
Okay, so we have two E-stops. We have one here and one up in the basket.
And there's one up in the basket, which we'll go over later. So if either one of those are pressed in, the machine will not start. So if you're having any issues, first thing you want to check is both E-stops are pulled out.
So we can pull this E-stop here, and then we're going to turn the key. We're going to start with ground controls first. So I'm going to go to the middle position.
Okay.
And this is going to do its thing. It's going to go through its motions.
It's going to do a self-diagnostic.
Once we have that there, we can start this on the ground. You always want to hold the ignition for a second. Otherwise, if you let it start up, let off, it shuts down. So you hold this for a second. Now we're good. We have two operations. This button here, which now gives me controls here. We have a jib. You have your boom in and out. And then we have boom one go up. And then we have the rotation. Your last one. Bring it back down. Here, that controls your basket. That should only be used when you load it on a trailer. And what that does,
So you never want to use that if somebody is in the basket. This is a self-leveling basket, so there's no need to adjust that except for transportation.
now, in the event of an emergency, with this key out, you can push this button, which operates the electric override, and you can operate the machine without the engine running.
Keep in mind, this is for emergencies only. It's a small battery bank. It's not made to operate in daily conditions. This is made to be operated on diesel. This is emergency descent only and not raise. It's descent only to bring your operator down if he or she came out of level.
Okay, so with this, we are now going to go to the basket controls. So I'm going to take this key, and we're going to turn it to the right. Now give me...
That's your basket operation switch?
Yep.
Now, do you start it from up down here, or do you start it from up top, Joe?
You started from up top at this point.
Perfect.
Once we are over here, everything's basket operated.
Okay, I'll let Joe get in the basket. A couple things to keep in mind. You do have safety switches here. You need to be compressed all the way down to your full mode to activate that. You have fiberglass panels. When you're doing construction work or tree work, do not drop anything on the lift. Keep your boom away from the top of the lift. If you do drop debris on the lift and damage it, there is a fee for the repair. This machine weighs 10,580 pounds. So if you're in soft sugar stand, this is four-wheel drive, but it is a heavy machine. If you do get stuck, you'll have to call a recovery company to come pull you out.
Also, a reminder with this machine is always walk the area you're going to drive this machine on. because if there's a septic tank, utility box, water box, any of that in the ground, this machine will find it and it will break it. So you want to make sure that you have nothing in the ground that this thing can roll over.
Make yourself aware of your surroundings. You want to be 15 feet from any power line. And you'll notice here, this is your point for your safety harness. You'll see Joe's hooked in both clips. You do not hook it around the rail. This is your point of hookup for your safety harness. This is your operator presence control. None of the controls will work until you step on that. That tells the machine that you are operating the basket. So Joe, so right in this tube right here is your operation and safety instructions. Always read these prior to using the machine. If you spend a few minutes to make yourself familiar, you'll save a lot of time down the road. These units are also a 500-pound maximum weight capacity in the basket. These are calibrated by the factory, and they do have computerized sensors. So if there's more than 500 pounds in the basket, the machine will not work. So always check your weight. You also have a secondary hookup. If you have a second person in the basket, or if you want to move, you always have a secondary clip for your safety harness. I'm gonna climb up in here with you, Joe. Now keep in mind, we checked our e-stop down below, and our key switch is in the upper control basket. We have e-stop here. You always want to make sure that's out. So let's go over the controls before we started, Joe.
Okay, so first thing, being we're both in the basket, you will see right here, it tells you we're at 97, 98% basket capacity.
So we're a couple big boys.
So that will tell you right there. To start it, we're gonna pull this out. We're gonna take our ignition right here and start it.
One thing I want to go over real quick, Joe. If it's cold weather, and we do get cold weather in Florida, this is your glow plug. You want to bring this to the left side. You have to hold it manually for 1 minute. That'll heat your glow plugs up so the machine will start. Okay, go ahead, Joe.
Pull this out. As you can see, you have to hold it for at least a second once it starts, or it will shut off. That is normal. Now we'll start. This right here.
So let's go over the operation control before we fire it up, Joe. There's a lot of switches in here.
Yep.
Let's go over it.
Okay, so we have our ignition. This is our drivability. We're in rabbit mode that can only be used on hard surfaces. Blacktop, concrete. Yep, hard level surface. When we're operating in sand or grass, we want to be in the four-wheel drive and loading on a trailer. We'd be here or turtle mode. Either one will give you four-wheel drive.
And that'll give you the most torque.
Right here is we'll have our swing, and the basket itself will swing left and right independently, or the whole boom on the machine will swing.
Okay, so that's your basket rotation,
yes.
Left and right? Okay, this one
we
right
have one here and one here.
Oh, okay, perfect. So this screws your whole turret, and this is just your basket?
Just your basket.
Okay,
yep.
Perfect.
This is your up and down.
That's your lower boom?
One lower boom.
Okay.
This is your lower boom, actually.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And then this is your upper boom.
Okay, lower boom on this side, upper boom on this side.
And like we said, this is your swing.
Okay.
The whole machine. And this is your in and out.
Or you're telescoping, okay.
You're telescoping. This right here, this is for driving only. And what this does is this will raise the jib on this machine so that it clears the basket from the ground. If you don't do that and you go to load it on the trailer, the basket will bottom out on the ground. Or if you are running a dip, the basket will bottom out on the ground.
Okay.
And you don't want that. So this is for raising the basket up. Not only does it keep the basket from hitting the ground, it'll give you better visibility as you look out over the machine.
Sounds good.
This is your electric override. With the engine off, you can push this and you can get all your operations on your boom with this. This is only to be used in an emergency.
Correct. That's a small battery bank and it's only down controls. Okay. Okay, what's that lever right there, Joe?
This right here is your drive lever. You have a button behind here. You would squeeze that button and you would have forward, reverse, and your thumb control is left and right.
So that turns your wheels?
That turns the wheels.
Just the one set of wheels,
Only
right?
one set of wheels turn.
Okay.
So now we can start this. Pull this out. We can start it. Once we have it started, we would step on here. We can bring just this up so we don't bottom out the basket. This is only for traveling. Then we can squeeze this. Go forward. Reverse.
That's the steering wheel on top?
Yep.
Okay. Yep. All right.
So now with that, we can go back down.
So Joe, so this controls your lower boom?
Yes.
Go ahead and step on your operator presence.
Yep,
Again,
stepped on it.
So that'll bring your lower boom up.
Bring it down.
This switches your upper boom.
Upper boom.
This switches your telescoping.
Yep.
And this is your turret rotation.
Yeah, it's only gonna go so much because it's locked in. So we could go here, which turns the basket. And then this one would turn with, there's a lock on the other end.
Okay,
with the lock down.
Okay, transportation
Then,
lock.
yeah, transportation.
Okay.
And then this would swivel the whole thing around.
Perfect. And then you'll see here, this decal
Now, when you do come down, you want to have the basket on that arrow side. That's which side you drive from. So if you spin this around, you got to come back to this side
So I can't lower it down if I was 180
and
degrees
try to
backwards.
drive it backwards.
Okay, I got you.
You want to be on this side, and that's the arrow right there.
Yep. Okay.
Next to the arrow to the left is the stop. So when this thing rotates around, it'll stop on that stop.
Okay, that's a safety stop, so it doesn't
Safety
continue to do a
stop.
360.
So, yeah,
60
so
degrees.
don't go all the way around.
All right, perfect. And so again, your safety stop is in, nothing will work. Once you pull that out, you also have your operator presence control. So if you don't depress that, nothing will work. And you have to be clipped in. This does have a cover on it. So just make sure you cover it up when you're done. And once again, this is your safety operation. Make sure you read this before you start. We always recommend before you start and use any height, of course, have your safety harness clipped in safely. And make yourself familiar with the operation before you go high. Spend a few minutes just learning the machine. It will save you time in the long run. Those two items, reading the manual, making yourself familiar, and then getting in the basket, using the controls, feeling the speed, see where you're comfortable prior to using the machine is going to save you time, time in the long run. If you're using a chainsaw, you have to keep the chainsaw off of these rails. These baskets are unweldable, so they have to be replaced, and they're very expensive, and nobody wants that. Also, when you're in, you want to make sure your control bar is all the way down. All right, Joe, are we missing anything?
Nope.
Okay. And you see here up top, you don't want to drop any debris on the machine. Debris should go on the ground. These are personnel baskets and personnel aerial lifts only. You cannot